Hi guys! So the other day I posted a poll on my Instagram story asking if any of you would be interested in seeing a completed bullet journal flip through, and most of you guys said yes, so here I am. I'm doing a voiceover this time because it's quite a long video, and I figured it'd be a bit boring if it was just music playing in the background. So since this is the first time I'm doing this, I'd really appreciate some feedback in the comments or whatever. Let me know if you like this kind of video or if you would prefer to just have music in the background. So I'm flipping through now, and this is the very beginning of the journal. I started it in September of 2016. So right at the beginning of new school year, and I just discovered the bullet journal method. I was basically just using it for collections like you just saw with web pages and movies I wanted to watch, and planner wise I was mainly like you can see here, using it in a traditional sense. So I drew out the weeks in advance, and then I filled in my to-dos that way. But as you can see, I had quite a bit of blank space because I didn't have that many to-dos on a day, and I kind of felt like I was wasting a lot of my pages and not really using the journal to its fullest extent. So I kind of got into a bit of a journaling slump, and as you can see here, I didn't really plan that much. I just wrote down lists, wish lists and to-read lists and to-dos, but not really aesthetically pleasing, which you obviously don't have to make your journal aesthetically pleasing, but that was something that I wanted to do. So this whole situation with the to-do list didn't really work for me that well, but from around this point, November 2016, I started to develop more of my own style. So this is kind of the style I enjoyed the most, using pictures and quotes and hand lettering, and this is also the time where I really got into actually hand lettering. This is very much the beginning of that hobby though, so it isn't very great, but I tried. So yeah, there's very clear color schemes on pretty much every page, and the layouts are pretty much all the same. So there's pictures in the corners and then to-do lists going down the page. And it's also at this point that I really started to find my way in how I wanted to do the to-do lists. So previously I did the horizontal layouts, very traditional planner-esque, whereas now I really I just wrote down the day that I was on, so the current date, and then I made the to-do list for that day, and then the next day I would repeat the process. So that way I wouldn't waste paper, and I also wouldn't feel bad for skipping days because it wouldn't waste any paper because I can just write down a different day and get on with it. So I think I really developed more of my personal style here. Also, if you see the big full page pictures, just assume that something went wrong on that page and I wanted to fix it, so I would just stick on a huge picture over top so that you wouldn't be able to see it anymore. Yeah, so it just kind of goes on that way. This is one of my favorite pages actually. It's inspired by the Raven Boys books by Maggie Stiefvater. This words page is one of the examples of pages that I didn't really finish. There's quite a few of those pages in here because I just figure it was a great idea to start a page with words that I wanted to remember, but then I would never really go back to that page. Again, a full page where I probably covered up something that went wrong. There's a lot of hand lettering, as you can see, on the blank spaces where I wouldn't plan anything. So there's very clear structures to the pages that I made in this time. Pictures, to-do lists, and a quote. And this is this is actually one of my least favorite pages, the June monthly one. As well as there's so many books, so little time. I don't really like how it ended up. But I think, you know, it's important to leave those things in to see how you've grown. And I really like looking back at it now and see how much my style has changed. This is a point where I kind of started to play around with new kind of page structures. As you can see, it's not really the clear quote, pictures in the corners, and to-do lists anymore. Although I say that, and this August 27th to 31st page is exactly that structure. But this is definitely a moment in time where I wanted to try out some new stuff. So this is exactly a year into the journal. And I used this journal for 2 full years. As you can see, every now and again I skip days, weeks, sometimes even months. So where some people used one journal for about a year, I definitely still had way too many pages left to get rid of it. But I just continued. So this is very much the marker of a new year. New year as in this journal. And I was very inspired at this point by Cheyenne Barton, which I'm sure everyone knows, with the doodles everywhere, and I really enjoyed just trying out new things. This is a NaNoWriMo page, which, as you can see, I've very much failed NaNoWriMo. I don't think I've ever completed NaNoWriMo or succeeded in any way, shape or form in that. But you know, a girl can dream. And this is a page, the previous page, the October page that I did a plan with me for. So if I did any plan with me's for the pages you've seen, I'll link them down below. This page on the right I was actually not very happy with. I didn't really like the color scheme. This page is very much unfinished. I was supposed to put something in the bottom. And this right page is also one of my least favorites in the entire journal. This was kind of a difficult time in my life. Sounds very dramatic, but it wasn't a great time, and I think you can also see that in my journal. I wasn't really motivated to do anything nice. I wasn't really inspired to make any cool layouts. And looking at these pages, I kind of get annoyed because they're not very pretty. But I think that kind of turned around here. Although this is also kind of like half an empty page. This is the end of 2017, a wrap up of all the books I read. And an opening page for 2018. I have to say, I don't think I used my journal very much in 2018. Again, one of those spreads that I really didn't like at all. But I left in there because, you know, this is a bit more of experimentation. I don't really paint a lot in my journal, but I thought I'd give it a go. And this is kind of a time where I wanted to try out something new again. So I would use one page for a day and not just do to-do lists, but also journal a bit about that day. And I really liked that system. I think I might continue that in a different journal. And here I just felt like doing something else. And I think that's the beauty of bullet journaling, that you don't have to kind of stick to just planning, but you can also make something fun out of it and do something creative. I'm just skipping a very personal page right now. And I also, there's, I'm pretty sure a lot of missed days around this time. But I very much enjoyed this system of having one page per day and being able to journal for that day. I also like trying out more mediums and paints and stuff. And this is one of the examples that bullet journaling doesn't have to be perfect. There's quite a few pages in this journal that aren't finished, or that I tried out techniques and it just went wrong. So here we have March. Again, I didn't really journal that much or plan that much in March. Beautiful Harry Styles. I like the contrast of the white and black. And here we have a page for the concert that I went to of Harry Styles. That's me and my mum in the tip-in. Because I bought these kind of like bracelets / elastic things, and I didn't want to throw away the card, so I figured I would just add it as a tip-in. I also have a plan with me for this one. I really like this, but I don't think I used my journal that much during this time. I seem to remember. Yeah, so we go straight into May. I was just very sporadic in this time. I also very much like this page, actually. It was a brain dump for the books I read in that month and the songs I liked during the month. And I think I will incorporate that in a new journal as well, because it was very useful. I liked this part of my journal the most, I think, because I'm trying out different layouts and trying out different techniques. And this is one of those spreads again that I don't really like that much, because it isn't finished and it doesn't feel finished. And this is also very kind of oddly placed, everything. You can really tell when I'm stressed, so that it all kind of doesn't make sense anymore. I do really like this page though, the summer bucket list. I think I wrote a blog post about it as well. I really enjoyed using that. And a summer mood board. I like these kinds of pages and I want to do more of them, but I don't know why I don't do them that much, but I seem to just use it as a planner. Current favourite songs. I went on a holiday to Germany, which was a lot of fun. And here I got my backpack. I'm not even going to try and pronounce it, but I figured I would dedicate a page to it. And this was just kind of using pictures that I had lying around because I felt like making a collage. I don't like this page at all because the thing on the right page kind of stuck. And then this is just the end. This is my pen test pages, and I tested out different like paints and stuff to see if it would seep through the page. And yeah, basically just my pen test pages. I have quite a few. So that's the end of my journal and the end of this flip through. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please let me know. And if you like the voiceover, or if you don't, also please let me know. I would like to hear from you.